Yo, what's going on, guys? Ron here, aka Neos, and today, guys, I want to bring you all a video on what are the best decks in the format. So, I wanted to make this video earlier for y'all, but I felt like that was unfair. I know a lot of, like, probably big YouTubers and stuff like that, for example, they've already come out there like, oh yeah, these are the best decks, this is why, you should be playing this. I really wanted to have the time to play the format, right? Get that hands-on experience, especially now that everyone has a lot of that access to those engines, those new cards, stuff like that. So I wanted to bring y'all the most honest tier list I could possibly bring you, right? So let's go ahead, and I'm going to pull this up right here. We're going to have a tier list here. So this is going to be like, this is going to be tier 0 here. Or not tier 0, I'm sorry, but like tier, like, we'll call it tier 1. Right, I don't think there's any tier 0 decks right now. This is going to be tier 2 here, or let's do 1.5. We'll do 1.5. Tier 1.5 here in this poop colored one. Let's have tier 2. Let's have like basically like let's say local level, like locals, and then put these in the binder, man. So tier 1 is obviously decks that I think that could win like a YCS. They should be, easily like topping that kind of event. Tier 1.5 should be like, you should be able to see like top, 64, 32, somewhere in that area pretty consistently of a YCS with these decks. Maybe you might like fall out of top cut, like top 8 or whatnot, but tier 2 should be like regional level. Like you could take this deck to a regional, you could win the regional, top the regional. And then obviously locals, this would be like basically like tier like 2.5. You play this at locals, and then if it's in the binder, I mean, basically, yeah, it should be in the binder. You might be able to take it to locals and win a game or two, but overall, leave it in the binder. We're gonna start off strong, guys. We're gonna start off with Pure Branded. I think Pure Branded is really good. Obviously, they have the new Fall of the White. They have the best access to using like branded fusion and the synchro stuff, and obviously that does kind of conflict, right? Because a branded fusion, but they maximize the branded fusion, I believe, to the best of their ability. Obviously, branded fusion sending like Frixel in the Dracotail version is incredibly powerful, but I think if you take this to a regional, you should be able to top probably quite easily. The deck is very good into boards, being able to break boards. The only issue is like the branded Dracotail matchup, because they end on Secretarion Dragon, being able to turn off all of your opponents' not traps, I'm sorry, but spellcasters and dragons is just obviously really tough for the deck to deal with, and obviously that's why it's not up here. So we're actually this is branded Dracotail right here, actually. We're going to move it down there because I'm going to talk about it and a couple other decks last. So here, this looks like Crystron Horus. We're not going to talk about this deck. We're just going to put this in the binder. If you're going to play Crystron, this is Yassine here. He's a big Crystron K9 player. I think if you're going to be playing Crystron, you should be playing K9. If I think you're playing K9, you should be playing either VS or K9. Or for higher, obviously the engine is quite versatile. I think K9 Crystron, though, I think that deck is incredibly powerful. I think it should be up here. I don't think it's quite on the level of like Pure Branded, though there is a lot that deck can put up. Lots of synchros, lots of XZs, a lot of ways to play on the play. They play Spell Canceller. I'll go ahead and move it up. Access to Spell Canceller in your natural combo basically is incredibly powerful. I think this deck is, if you take it to a regional, you should be able to top, and you could get top 64 at a YCS pretty easily too, I think, assuming you pilot properly. So really strong. Fiendsmith decks, I think Fiendsmith decks overall are not like super great. Not a lot of decks optimally use the Fiendsmith engine. Obviously, if you can, I think the engine is very good, but overall, like, you can't play like pure Fiendsmith anymore with like the Kashtiras and stuff. So I feel like unless you're playing like specific versions of Fiendsmith, like, you can take it to locals, and you might be able to win playing like Fiendsmith Bestial Control or something, but not really a deck that I think is very good. Aneacraft, I think Aneacraft is okay. Um, I don't think this deck is really that good. You could definitely top a regional with it, but it doesn't do really well into like certain matchups. It has its like very clear weaknesses, and yeah, like this deck is just, I want to put it in locals, but it like it's either like here or like in the binder, to be honest. Like I don't even think like it deserves to go to locals, because I have people play this in my locals, and I don't even think they've come close to winning, to be honest. They just get absolutely destroyed. I'm gonna have to put it in the binder, guys. I hate to do it to Aneacraft, but it's just not good enough. They rely way too heavily on like Vanity's Fiend and you know, burning their opponent, and they lose to like Murakumo blow up. It's so bad, guys. And when the new support comes out, this deck will definitely be up here, maybe here, but right now, guys, there's just no reason to play an aircraft, and there's just so many better decks. Exo Sisters, I think this is actually a really good deck. I've been playing against Exo Sister, and holy Jesus Christ, it's a really good deck. Being able to change effects, being able to banish stuff, being able to quick XYZ on your opponent's turn, layered interruption, getting access to their trap card. You could definitely top a regional or win it. It's very foreseeable. Excuse me. Yeah, this deck is really good. For hire, I'm gonna say this is K9 for hire. There's no way that you should be playing pure for hire. If you are, you're throwing. Pure for hire is like good for locals, but K9 for hire is a really good deck. The Rex Ride is an incredibly powerful card. Being able to just constantly draw cards is just, you know, drawing cards is good, especially in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I definitely think that you could top like a YCS, like top 64. Yeah, I think the deck is really good. Gem Knights is like in this like tier 2 area. You could definitely win a regional with it. You could maybe get like top 64 of a YCS. Might be a little bit difficult with just how powerful stuff is in this format with like Branded Draco Tail. But, you know, being able to like just blow your opponent out of the water. This plays a lot of breakers. They really don't care about 5 mana. They can clear the back row really easily. They have a lot of pushes. They can set up a negate in the graveyard. They can OTK. They can burn. They can set up interruption. I think this deck overall is really good. The breakers definitely do the most for the deck, but I think they just they lack the robustness. Like sometimes like they can like put up a lot of stuff, but like not quite kill, and you know they sometimes they trade into interaction pretty poorly. Neff is a really good card. Their normal summon, they get an additional one, but the breakers definitely do the most work here, and they put them up here. Like easily, like you could win a locals. You could be like, roll the dice, and then your opponent's like, oh, you're gonna go first, and you'd be like, no man, you're gonna go first, and then they just shit their pants. So I think this deck's really good. Cool Tune, you can definitely top a regional with this deck. I think it's definitely better than Exo Sister. By the way, I'm gonna try to keep this stuff in order as best I can. Speaking of that, I'll move that up because this deck is ass. Yeah, Cool Tune, it's just, it has the yummy problem where it just like it dies to a breaker. Obviously they can set up a negate, they can set up the double synchro. The spell card on your opponent's turn is pretty good. You can add one, synchro summon. That's all really good, but like its best thing is like the non-engine it plays, because it can play dumb stuff like Gamma and then like treat it as like synchro material. But the deck when it gets its support is definitely going to be like up here. But until then, it's like right above Exo Sister. So Lunalight, you can get a top 64 at a YCS. Like double Liger Baguska Pass is just hella ignorant. Setting up the Hound in graveyard for a negate, for a Speller Trap to protect you from like a breaker, like a Droplet or anything like that could be actually threatening, like evenly match. It's just, this deck is really scary. The issue is that all it is like ooh, Liger pass. It's like, it's just so like ignorant, and just like, yeah. And as soon as people like respect this deck, it's just kind of like. It also like it gets caught in the crossfire with Branded Draco Tail because of the fusion aspect of it. So people playing like Retal C and stuff like that, they can kind of like, make you banish all of your stuff. Yeah, it's heavily, for the most part, heavily reliant on its normal summon with Leo, but it's not terrible. But yeah, I definitely put it down here. It's definitely harder to win with this than it is these, because people just like, yeah, it's just, yeah. So Malice. Oh man, Malice. I really want to put this on the binder, guys. I really do, but it at least belongs in locals. Like, you could win locals with this. Even with the binder band, and they lose out on the ability to like have the extra interruption, the draw, the set. The deck has a lot. It can play Cyber Slop, which is obviously really good. They have a lot of extenders. They can play like a bunch of non-engine. The deck can be like weirdly go-y with hands. Like I said, the Bestial package is both interruption and engine. I hate Malice, guys. I wish this deck would just burn, but Cybers is just, Cybers is Cybers, so, yeah. Anyways, Memento. I think Memento's a pretty good deck. I think you need to be playing it with either Fiendsmith or Radiant Typhoon, but, so yeah, but like pure Memento is like here with the extra stuff. You can move it up a tier. It has a lot of that ability to push. It has good extenders. It can play a lot of non-engine. It can just randomly OTK your opponent, which is just super dumb. They set up layered interruption. They can fuse on your turn. It's really good. Yeah, I think Memento's pretty good. So, Yamimitsu, don't play this deck anymore. It's just no point. The bridge is no longer really there. Like, you can bridge still, I think, from what I remember. There's a combo out there, but it's like super fragile. So it's not worth it, guys. Play Yummy or play Mitsu. Don't play both. Speaking of Pure Mitsu is definitely up here in the 1.5 tier. I will put it over Lunalight, simply for the fact that like Murakumo plus Trap Card plus Futsu is just like really hard to crack. Ripping Card, Omni Negate, Follow Up. The deck can play a large amount of non-engine. The deck is really good. I don't think it's quite. I think it's like pretty equal with all of these. The issue is like consistency. You need to play a consistency type engine. I played the Radiant Typhoon package to draw cards in the draw phase to play around roll. So, and then you also like you need the normal summon more because you kind of need to play Manju. I believe playing it with the Fiendsmith engine is the best way to do it, which is why I have it here. I think like Mitsu Fiendsmith, I think Mitsu Fiendsmith is actually like probably like here. Like Crystron Canine is just really dumb. So, but I think like pure Mitsu is like here. Mitsu Fiendsmith is here. Just because like you can withdraw it too. Like you can just start Engraver, and like if your opponent draws you, they suck because they just drew one of the two, right? They just got lucky. But yeah, this deck is incredibly powerful, especially with the Fiendsmith engine being able to set up a very large end board that you can basically like FTK your opponents. So yeah, I think it belongs here. Odeon, normal Odeon that's just like set 5 cards past turn is like down here at locals. You could win. Shout out my buddy Francis who plays Tyrant Throws. I think that deck is here. Tyrant Throws is a continuous trap card that says neither player can normal or special summon effect monsters, and he has a combo for it. So you can definitely top a regional with this deck with that setup. Basically every time my buddy resolved that card, he won the game on the spot. So He topped a regional with it, which is why it's going here. I think it's better than all of this, simply for the fact that you're locking your opponent is just really good. So, obviously, with the Fallen and the Virtuous being around more, it's not as good. But still, like that kind of puts them on having it, and they really have to stop it. So, Orcust, Orcust is pretty good. I'm gonna say this is Orcust Fiendsmith. I don't think pure Orcust is all super great. I think playing the Fiendsmith engine with it is better, but you could definitely top a regional with it. I think it's like here. It has a good amount of engine. It does use the normal summon, but it doesn't like have to. Sometimes being able to make everything a quick effect in the grave, being able to get follow up on your opponent's turn. Babel is a crazy card. Crescendo's a really good card. Crescendo being both engine and follow up is obviously really strong. It does like the Mitsurugi thing. I think this deck is solid. You could definitely top a regional. We have the Typhoon engine. Typhoon engine is definitely. Ooh, I think it's here. It's got like it's at the top of this. Like you could argue it's here, but this deck is insane. Drawing a bunch of cards, setting up multiple negates. It can play through Fulos with no problem. The only Mulcharmy it can't really play into is Perulia. Yeah, so you can play through Meowls too because you don't have to summon them from grave. You can summon them from hand instead. If you have a way to pitch them into grave, you can play around Perulia. So yeah, there's just a lot here. So this deck's really good. Rescue Ace. I think with the new support, you could definitely win locals. I don't think it's better than Malice though, unfortunately. Or is it better than Bestial, like Fiendsmith Control or something like that? Probably. I think their new quick attacker adding the consistency to the deck is just nice, and then they got a consistency bump, and they got a end board piece. So not terrible. Definitely doesn't move it up very far, but support is support. Rockets, you can play it at locals, man. Ryziel, with the Onomot engine, you could you play it in locals. Probably like here. Onomot stuff is just you can just turbo out a bunch of level 4s as the deck is kind of built to do. So Engage, man. Striker engine. Sky Striker. Ooh, where do we put this? This is interesting because Droll is at 2. You can definitely top and win a regional with this deck. It's very powerful. I'm going to put it up here right past Lunalight. I think Striker's actually really scary. You can main deck a bunch of non-engine, like Breakers. You can draw a bunch of cards. They don't really care about Draco Tail's back row. They don't care about Phimena. They don't care about... I think this deck is really good. I think it has a good matchup into Branded Draco Tail for the overall most part. Engage not being once per turn is really good. They're getting new support. They can just they have a lot of quick effects to dodge the targeting. Like they could make the new the 0, and they can't horn it because they can just chain and dodge it. So can their normal summons. So yeah, I think this deck's really good. You can just OTK your opponent, blow them out of the water. It's really good. This deck only loses to Droll basically. So I think this is really good. Canine Vanquisher. I think this is a broken deck. I think this deck is you could definitely win a YCS with it. The deck is just so unbelievably broken. One Holisu does not matter. You're maybe you don't see her in hand that often, but you always get access to her. You can always add her back with Rock. She's not going to get Bestial because she's an Earth. She might get stung by Branded Draco Tail, but that doesn't really matter. I think the deck is insane. Yummy. This goes for not for pure Yummy, but maybe for Yummy variants like the Radiant version, or What other Yummy versions can you play? Excuse me. I am quite tired at the moment. I'm making this video at 3 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. So, let's see. Yummy. We have Yummy Radiant Typhoon. You have Yummy Elven Note. Surprisingly enough, shout out to Triff that was cooking that stuff. But he's a nerd anyways. So, I think like Yummy's pretty good. Definitely like you could win a regional with it, but just like getting that top end of a YCS is going to be really hard. We have Blue Eyes. Do I want to put it in the bottom of like maybe you top a regional with it? I don't think so. I don't think the deck's good enough. You have to play normal monsters. You can win you can win locals. Because if I'm putting this deck up here, then I have to put Malice. Because, like, Malice could, like... I have to bump Malice up, man. I have to. Malice could definitely top a regional, as much as I hate that with the new ban list. Like, yeah, like I said, they lost White Binder, but it doesn't really matter. I don't know what this deck is. It can go in the binder. What is that, like, Gem something? I don't know what that is. Branded Draco Tail is by far the best deck in the room. Not even talking about pure Draco Tail. If you're playing pure Draco Tail, you could top a regional, but you're gonna struggle in a YCS. Yeah, Branded Draco Tail is just the best deck in the room by far. It sets up a lot. It sets up a lot of follow up. It draws you into hand traps during your opponent's turn, or at least tries to with the trap cards. They set up a banish. They can bounce their own monster to get a draw if they need it. It sets up a floodgate. The mirror match is hell because of Secretarion Dragon. Oh, there's just so much with this deck. The Fallen the Virtuous, the Synchro Monster, the Ecclesia, yeah, there's just a lot. You play Branded. You can play Branded Fusion. You can choose not to play Branded Fusion. Rahu's broken. Ketu's broken. Getting access to Ketu is not that hard. Yeah, your Branded Draco Tail opponent's not going to draw it that often, but they're going to get it like that. They resolve a single fusion and it's set face down on their back row. So, and then the first trap that they resolve is going to put it back in the deck. It just doesn't matter. Yeah. And then last but not least, guys, I had to save it for last. You already know. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I think this deck is a contender. It doesn't have the new support yet. It doesn't have any hits on the ban list, obviously. It's brand new. The only issue that this deck has, because it has a lot of gas, it can play breakers, it can play hand traps, you can main deck all the Charmies if you wanted to. It can break boards with its engine. It plays Fiendsmith very well. It can hand loop your opponent with stuff. You can look at your opponent's top deck. There's a lot. The only thing holding it back is like the Secretarion that your Branded Draco Tail opponent makes turns off your engine. So, that's why we play like Imperm and or like Droplet, so or Crown. There's plenty of ways to work around that, but that's the only reason that I don't have it higher. To be honest, it does struggle into a VSK9 board, but everything struggles into that board, especially when it's like, they're gonna pass on Ripper, Spell Card, Trap with the Vanquish Soul, Rock, Caesar, and Holly Sue, and just everything else. So, and then you also have the risk of getting shifted by this deck, which just kills, literally just because it plays shifter, it just kills everything else on this board. Everything else just dies because it could just play shifter. So, anyways, guys, that's it for this. I did spend a long time on this, but I wanted to talk about a lot of these decks because I thought that was important to do. So, I do hope that y'all enjoyed. Go ahead, I'll make myself big. That way I can send y'all off. So, please, 83% of y'all aren't subscribed. Please subscribe. It makes me feel better, makes me happy, gives me a lot of motivation to make more videos for y'all. So, Please don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you know when I post more content. And I will catch y'all in the next video, guys. Peace.